in today's video, I'm drawing two of my favorite YouTubers OCs. But quick announcement, I now have an Instagram. It's just Reagan_doodles. There are other Reagan doodles on Instagram, but they're not all the same username wise. Like, there's this one account that's Reagan_doodle, which is a dog named Reagan. So yeah, I will leave a link so that you guys can have my Instagram. Now let's get into the video. The first OC I'm drawing is by Dollightful, and for you who don't know what OC means, it just means original character. So if I say OC, I'm referring to original character. It's just an abbreviation. But anyways, Dollightful makes mostly custom dolls, and she is very talented. Her work is very intricate, and I love how detailed her work is in her character designs. I really love her character designs. I find them really inspiring. And recently she made a character named Valentine, and I thought she was really cute. And I love all the hearts in her design, so I decided to draw her because she's just absolutely adorable. It was kind of interesting trying to interpret her doll into my style, because so often it's not an item I'm drawing in my style, which I have drawn items in my style before. But it was just very interesting because she has a more realistic style when it comes to her dolls, but it's still very anime inspired or anime feeling to it, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of interesting trying to interpret that into my style. And for certain things like her hair, it wasn't like I had a drawing of her hair to look at. So I had to purely just decide for myself how I wanted to stylize it, which I have like purely stylized things on my own before, but it's just kind of interesting when you're drawing more fan art. And speaking of the hair, it was kind of interesting drawing her hair because, like I mentioned in my last video, I don't often draw very curly hair. In this situation, I do keep it very stylized because for this, it's just going to be a colored sketch. And I just kept it very simplified because sometimes for really curly hair, I like to keep the shape just very simple and soft compared to going in with tons of details. And it was also kind of difficult doing like the braids because I don't often draw braids. Most of the braids are just copy and pasted, but I made sure to morph them to her head. So I wanted to make sure her head looked round and didn't look flat. I might have put a bit too much space in between the hair. At the same time though, if you look at her eye, it doesn't look like that much of a gap, but if you look at her finger, it looks like a big gap. So I don't know if I did too much of a gap or not, but I still feel like it looks cute, but it kind of is more stylized. Like realistically, that's a lot of scalp showing, but I feel like it turned out really cute though. And for her pose, I decided to have her holding this cup that Dollightful painted for her, or just a cup that Dollightful had, I think. I'm not completely sure, but either way, I gave her her little cup, and I decided to make her cup partially clear because I thought that'd be really cute. It's kind of more of a stylistic choice, I guess, or artistic liberties. I don't know, I just thought it'd be cute, and I decided to fill it with boba just because I thought it would be really cute. And I also have her slightly waving with her hand that's farther away from us. Or if she's not really waving, she's kind of like just raising her hand like, hey, I see you. Also, sorry if I sound sick. I was sick about a week ago and still sometimes sound kind of funny at moments and need to clear my throat. Also, speaking of being sick, I had pink eye when drawing this picture. Not with the sickness I currently have, but right before this sickness, I had pink eye. And while I had pink eye, I also couldn't really talk much because right before I had pink eye, I was sick, which made me lose my voice. So I couldn't talk while I had pink eye. And the first thing I was sick with right before pink eye, I also came down with it on my 18th birthday, which was kind of annoying. So far being 18 has just mostly been being sick. Another thing about this doll is that she has on makeup. I don't often give my characters makeup, but it was kind of fun adding on the makeup because on the doll, the eyeshadow is like red with a bit of pink. She has red glossy lips, and she has like these hearts on her cheeks, which is really cute. And I'm glad it doesn't look weird on her because sometimes that can happen when I give my characters makeup that it just looks wrong, but luckily that wasn't the case. It was also kind of fun shading her eyes. She doesn't actually have pupils. She has like hearts in the middle of her eye. And on the doll, it doesn't have highlights, but I decided to give her highlights because I just absolutely love adding highlights. For the colors, I did kind of debate on how I wanted to stylize her hair. At first, I was thinking maybe just a brown but then I kind of went towards more of a purple, and it does get quite a bit lighter once I shade the hair, so I do end up making it darker later and a little more desaturated because it wasn't looking black anymore, it was just looking purple. And for the hearts on her sweater, I just copied and pasted them. I just used a texture brush and just copied and pasted them all over, which this sweater is so cute. I love how fluffy and soft it looks. I have a sweater kind of like this myself, but it's not super fluffy and soft, it's more of a coarser knit. And like I mentioned earlier, I decided to make the cup kind of see-through, which I made a pattern on it a little see-through too, and you can see all the boba inside, and you can kind of see like her sweater, her hand through the cup. On the doll, she's also wearing golden hoops and has like a little piece of gold in her hair, and I just painted all of those on top of the sketch and just erased it in areas where it would be covered. I didn't end up giving the doll her shades because Dollightful did make her some really cute shades, but I decided not to draw them. For the background, I just did a circle filled with a heart pattern and made it the paper, or behind the circle, just this very light pink color, and I doodled some hearts on top of it with a white outline and wrote her name, Valentine. I did consider just using a text tool, but I decided to just use my handwriting because I kind of like my handwriting. I like the more cute natural feel it gives. I also added some rainbow noise. So yeah, this is the picture. She turned out super cute, and if Dollightful watches this at all, your character is absolutely adorable, and I truly admire how you design characters. You are extremely talented, and I love hearing what inspires you. Now, let's go on to the next character. This next OC is by Rinspiritart. Again, super talented. I love how colorful her pictures are. She's really good at lighting, and her colors are just very pretty. She's very good at drawing like flowers and characters, and she can do like full-on backgrounds. She's very talented, and I love how colorful her shading is. Her style of shading is very colorful. She does a lot of things in a more of a painty style. She often draws a lot of Genshin and 17 fan art, and she draws her OCs, and she often draws fan art for whatever else she likes in the moment. She's a very sweet and kind person. I've got to have a few interactions with her. I don't know if this is a weird way of describing her. I feel like she's a very cute person, if that makes any sense. But again, super duper sweet. I have a few art pieces from her of my OCs, and they're so cute. I absolutely love them so much. I have them right by my bed. But anyways, I'm drawing her OC Kaisen, which is one of her newer OCs, which I thought he looked super cool and fun to draw, which it was funny when I was telling my younger sister how I wanted to draw him. She was like, no duh, it's an edgy anime boy, of course you want to draw him. But then she roasted me afterwards. So pretty typical sibling behavior. But for the pose, I originally was just having him sit there and kind of like playing with his hands because I found this picture on Pinterest. And he was also originally looking more forwards, but I decided to turn his head more. And this pose ends up being very difficult for me, mostly because of how his arm was going. I feel like the torso ended up looking weird. So yeah, I don't know. It was just very difficult. I think I just need to do a little more pose practices and stuff like that. But I just end up later having him stop playing with his hands because that arm just kept looking completely wrong and just weird and broken. So I just put his arm down. I don't know if that looks bad, but because of me having pink eye and being sick and stuff, I didn't have much time to finish it. So I just put his arm down. I was like, I'm not going to spend any more time just trying to get it look perfect. I'm just gonna let it continue on. I like his face, so that's good. But another thing I was struggling with drawing was his hair. I was trying to pull up tons of references and try to figure out how his hair worked or how it looked. And I thought a bit of his hair that actually goes in the front belonged in the back because I couldn't completely tell by looking at the pictures I had. But then once I finished the picture, Rin made a video of making a reference sheet for her character right when I finished basically making the picture. And I was looking at it and I saw I messed it up in that the bit that I made go behind his ear actually goes in the front. It was also interesting trying to stylize his hair because how me and Ren go about stylizing hair is kind of different, which is kind of interesting looking at how she draws hair and really like almost studying it in a way because I was trying to translate the hairstyle into my style. So I was paying a lot of attention to how she draws her strands and stuff, but trying to interpret it into my style. It was kind of interesting. I do feel like though I should have been a bit looser with his hair, let myself do a little more what I wanted to do by adding like a few more strands here and there. Because Ren does stick to very certain things while drawing her character's hair, but she also allows herself to add in a few extra strands here and there if she so feels it needs it. But she does stick to his like core shapes. But it's a little harder to be loose about it when you're drawing another character or drawing fan art, at least for myself. So I ended up learning it was wrong, and I ended up doing his outfit kind of wrong too. But I am going to go back and change some of the things color-wise because I end up in this picture right now, once I kind of start coloring for a while, his shirt and his baggier shirt end up just both being black and I give him gray pants. But in her reference sheet, he has almost like a wine colored shirt or like a burgundy, and then his little jacket thing, I can't think of a name for it right now. His pants are both black, so I'm gonna go in and change the colors after I record voiceover, but you guys will just see it. So Rin, I'm sorry if you're watching this, if I like butchered him. I tried my best. I hope you at least kind of like him, even if he's butchered. This is also another colored sketch. I keep just doing colored sketches because often my sketches are clean enough that I can just color it. So I'm just doing some colored sketches because it's also faster for me sometimes. Sometimes it's quicker to just do line art, but in these scenarios, it was just better for me to keep it as a sketch. For the shading in this picture, I decided to make it be more of a bright light and a warm light coming from the right of the canvas. And later I do add in like this subtle blue light on the left side of the canvas, which I feel like looks very, very cool because I just like the contrast in colors because I just feel like it seems very cool. I think it's pretty. But for the blue lighting, it's more of kind of rim light, like not super strong, it's more subtle. I feel like it looks really cool. I also have him like sitting on this block. I don't know completely what it is. I just set him down on a random block. But because of the color I choose for the background, I feel like it looks like those school pictures when people take pictures at school. I feel like it ended up looking like that, but a very dramatic version of it. And I also added these flowers on top, but it ended up looking like it was part of the wall that was behind him, or wall that I wasn't planning to actually be a wall, but is now a wall. I put 1 yellow flower on the warm side and 3 blue flowers on the cold side because I thought this seemed interesting and cool and I really liked it. And I also put text on top that said his name Kaisen, and I just had a gradient from blue to yellow and I gave it a white outline. I just used a text tool for this one because I wanted to look more fancy and I don't have the fanciest handwriting. When I was done coloring, I did make a layer on top of everything and kind of just painted on top of it to clean up some things like his hands and his eyes, just to make everything look a bit sharper. I also added a watercolor texture on top. This picture isn't my best work, but I do like it. I do feel like he turned out kind of cool, even though I do have some gripes with his anatomy. I think it's just not completely what I hoped, but I do like him. I do feel like he looks neat. Once again, Ren, I hope you like it if you're watching this and I didn't butcher him too badly. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. Please go show the YouTubers I mentioned in this video some support. I absolutely love them. And all you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye!